Hello everyone, and welcome to my bold and the beautiful official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Zende read a web-based article about Thomas and Trust's true capacity as the following Forrester and Logan coupling. He streaked back to uncovering his doubts about Thomas. In Finn's office, Thomas mirrored Finn, ridiculing his serious intention to get Trust far from Thomas, and inquired as to whether Finn truly thought Trust merited better compared to Thomas. Finn answered that Trust merited a steady relationship with a person she could trust and rely upon. Thomas wished Finn didn't doubt him and said he'd endeavored to show off his abilities. Thomas demanded that nobody expected to shield Trust from him. Not entirely certain about it, Finn said he'd heard sketchy things. Thomas said Finn wasn't checking out at Thomas or watching his activities. Thomas said that he and Trust were actually a couple and he was anticipating a relationship with her. He demanded that Trust was his future. Finn reviewed that Thomas had felt as such previously, however Trust hadn't. Sure that Zande's proclamations had entangled Finn, Thomas requested that Finn recollect what Thomas' identity was. He said he was the uncle of Finn's child, and as family, they ought to be on a similar side. He asked Finn not to allow Zende to split apart them, and not to drive one among Trust and Thomas. Finn attested that he was attempting to figure out reality. Thomas answered that it wouldn't come from Zende. Or on the other hand from you, Finn jested. Thomas demanded that Zende was off base and the allegations were bogus. Thomas expressed that Trust could arrive at her own conclusions about who was a major part of her life. Also, she's making some unacceptable one with you, Finn closed. Afterward, Thomas had gone, and Finn was concentrating on an internet-based article about Emma. Zende showed up and expressed gratitude toward Finn for seeing him once more. Finn said he'd been shocked to hear from Zende once more. Zende unveiled that he'd been gone ballistic to realize what Finn's identity was connected with, and Finn answered that he'd been blown a gasket by Zande's declarations. Zende said he'd comprehend on the off chance that Finn didn't trust it. Zende comprehended that he was an outsider who'd danced in and offered something horrendous about Finn's family, yet Zende guaranteed that he was coming clean. Finn inquired as to whether Zende could demonstrate it. Zende said he couldn't without question, and neither could the police, which was the reason Thomas wasn't in prison. Zende demanded that Thomas was risky and liable for Emma Hairdresser's demise. Zende allowed Finn to have misgivings of Zende, and Zende stressed over Trust. Are they genuinely seeing someone? Inquired. Finn answered that he was concerned as well. Zende entreated Finn to pay attention to Zende. Zende demanded that Thomas had run Emma off the street since he wasn't ready to gamble with Trust knowing reality with regards to Beth. Finn cautioned that it was a significant allegation. Completely mindful, Zende asserted it was the reason he'd returned. He couldn't have cared less assuming the examination had finished. He said Thomas had undermined him, and he understood what Thomas was able to do. Murder. In the salon, Steffi shivered at the possibility of her discussion with Finn prior that day about Thomas' relationship with Emma's demise. She messaged and left. Afterward, Steffi was in Eric's office when Thomas showed up, telling her that her text timing had been perfect. He uncovered that he'd been getting an earful from her better half when he got it. Thomas asserted that he'd heard Finn slamming him to Trust and saying that Expectation, who hadn't been herself, had been becoming suddenly angry since she'd been with Thomas. You maintain that I should deviate? Steffi inquired. She said Thomas hadn't been tainting Trust, however Trust had changed. Steffi felt that Finn was correct about that. Thomas said that Finn had said Thomas wasn't adequate for Trust, particularly after Zande's allegations had come up. Thomas demanded that he adored endlessly Trust cherish him as well. He said they had a magnificent relationship, and it would be astounding for Douglas. Thomas requested that Steffi converse with Finn and persuade him that Thomas wasn't a danger. Try not to allow him to meddle in my relationship with Trust, Thomas said. In Eric's office, Zende met with RJ at RJ's. Demand yet jested that RJ ought to do enormous, significant work with Edge. RJ asked his cousin not to be that way. RJ had needed to converse with Zende to propose that they could all cooperate on Eric's line. Zende reasoned that RJ was welcoming him to join RJ's project. Zende inquired as to whether Edge required RJ to draw for him. "You are since that. A designer. I'm a planner," Zende finished up. Zende announced that it was incredible that RJ needed to be a piece of the privately run company, yet that's what Zende demanded. This assortment was unique. RJ said Eric had thought RJ could deal with it. Zende commented that RJ had been Eric's partner, not protégé. Despondent that they were back to that, RJ inquired as to why they couldn't all cooperate. Zende kept up with that RJ had been given exceptional treatment around there since he was the prodigy Edge Jr. RJ would not apologize for whose youngster he was, yet Zende said RJ expected to comprehend the honor it managed the cost of him. RJ professed to be aware, and he said he'd been fortunate to invest energy with Eric. RJ hadn't underestimated any of it. Zende demanded that it wasn't karma. It was who RJ was. Answering that they were both foresters, RJ didn't get Zende's contention. Zende reasoned that RJ didn't have the hacks to deal with a noteworthy assortment like Eric's. RJ contemplated that he could not, yet he gleaned tons of useful knowledge from Eric. Zende calculated that RJ had taken in a bit and felt qualified for finish Eric's assortment. Zende said RJ was doing what an Edge forester would do best: playing with understudies, setting up camp in the president's office, and strolling around strutting around. RJ said he was finished attempting to see things according to Zende's perspective. "Best of luck, Zende. I have plans," RJ said, and he surged out. In the plan office, Luna had duped her mom into getting her espresso request to figure out how Poppy's date with Bill had gone. Poppy uncovered that it was really the case that she and Bill had met each other for some time back. Poppy wasn't shocked in light of the fact that she'd met many individuals on the arts circuit. Luna answered that Bill scarcely appeared to be the sort to be into creates. Poppy conceded that she'd met him at a live concert. Poppy reported that she had a corner at the rancher's market that end of the week and inquired as to whether Luna needed to join her like bygone eras. Luna, who'd thought Poppy should enjoy some time off after special times of year, inquired as to whether RJ could go with them. As Poppy welcomed Luna out for supper, somebody slipped a note between the ways to the workplace. It was for Luna, welcoming her to supper in the salon in 60 minutes. Poppy thought the greeting was heartfelt. Luna answered it was exemplary RJ, however she was unable to make an appearance to the extravagant supper, looking the manner in which she did. Poppy thought the outfit Luna wore was fine. Luna said it was a Go Snatch Burgers outfit, not a mystery note through the entryway outfit. Luna lacked opportunity and energy to return home and change. "Luckily, you work at a design house," Poppy answered. Afterward, cheery music played as Poppy and Luna went through racks of garments. Luna took a stab at a large number of dresses until she at long last chosen a short pink sheath dress with a bow train. Poppy said her little girl would blow RJ away. Luna boasted about RJ also, how he focused on everything about it be lunch, blossoms, or chocolates. Poppy encouraged Luna to appreciate being enamored. Luna said he'd hung tight as long as she can remember for a person like RJ. In the salon later, Luna showed up in her dress. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.